We've just returned from the maiden voyage of Silversea Silver Endeavour in Antarctica. As you can already see, Antarctica is unlike any destination in the world, and the only way to experience this unspoiled landscape is by cruise ship. We were fortunate to be invited by Silversea to join a group of media professionals on the maiden voyage of the new Silver Endeavour. While many Antarctica sailings embark and disembark in Ushuaia, Argentina, these sailings require 3 to 4 days crossing the Drake Passage, known for some of the roughest seas in the world. Our Silver Endeavour cruise is called the Antarctica Bridge and avoids the Drake Passage altogether by flying rather than sailing to the Antarctica Peninsula. Our expedition begins with an overnight flight from Dallas-Fort Worth to Santiago, Chile, where we met members of the Silversea expedition team and were informed that due to weather conditions, our planned overnight stay in Punta Arenas the following day was being canceled. Instead, we would be flying from Santiago to Punta Arenas, then connecting with a flight to King George Island, where we would be boarding Silver Endeavour a day ahead of schedule. The charter flights arranged by Silversea were very comfortable, and when we boarded the Antarctica Airways BAE aircraft in Punta Arenas, all of our expedition gear was waiting for us in our assigned seats. Silversea provides guests with parkas, waterproof pants, boots, and a waterproof backpack, and everything except for the boots are yours to keep. When we land at King George Island in Antarctica, it's obvious why guests are required to put on all of the gear before deplaning. It's very cold and windy here, and the only way to get to Silver Endeavour is by Zodiac. Sailors are always on hand to assist guests getting into and out of the Zodiacs. Each time you step aboard Silver Endeavour from a Zodiac, you enter the mudroom on Deck 3, where you first are required to clean your boots in a disinfectant. You can then remove your boots, life vest, and other gear before moving to the rest of the ship. Each stateroom has its own locker and warming posts where you can store your boots. The contrast between the harsh environment of Antarctica and the luxurious surroundings of Silver Endeavour could not be more pronounced. Silversea claims Silver Endeavour to be the most luxurious expedition ship in the world, and we can see why. Let's take a quick tour of Silversea Silver Endeavour. You've already seen the mudroom on Deck 3, but this is also where you'll find the guest laundrette and the marina. The marina is aft on Deck 3 and can be used to embark or disembark the Zodiacs and kayaks in calmer seas. Moving up to Deck 4, you'll find 3 dining venues: the restaurant, Il Terrazzino, and La Dame. Explorer Lounge is on Deck 4 forward, and this is where the daily briefings are conducted each evening. On Deck 5, you'll find Arts Cafe and Reception, the Odeum Spa and Fitness Center, the Boutique, and the Grill. You'll find more suites on Deck 6, as well as a hot tub positioned on the bow of the ship, which is also great for observation. Decks 7 and 8 are guest suites, and on Deck 9 forward, you'll find the Observation Lounge, the library, and an education center. You'll find a walking and jogging track on Deck 10 as well as the sun deck, and this is also where the zodiacs are stored. Silver Endeavour offers an unequaled amount of space per guest. At 20,000 tons and only 200 guests, the relative amount of space is 100 tons per guest. A typical cruise ship is between 35 and 40, and there are 200 crew members, giving Silver Endeavour a crew-to-guest ratio of 1:1. Every stateroom on every Silversea ship is considered a suite, and Silver Endeavour is no exception. Our deluxe veranda suite on Deck 7 aft is the smallest on board, yet quite comfortable at 356 square feet. The suite included a large 52 square foot balcony, even though on our sailing it was too cold and wet to do much more than step out to shoot video or take photos. And while I do prefer the sliding balcony door over a hinged door, this one was the hardest one to open I've ever experienced. The king-size bed was one of the most comfortable we've enjoyed anywhere. Across from the bed is a rather narrow desk/vanity. There are plenty of power ports on the desk, as well as both USB-C and USB-A ports. The lighted makeup mirror is a nice touch, and it's motion sensitive, and while that's very high tech, it would often turn on just by walking by it at night. The living room space is separated by a curtain and includes a large sofa which can be converted into a bed. Across from the sofa is a mini bar which is fully stocked with any beverages you request. The coffee table is host to complimentary fresh fruit and chocolates and can be converted into a full-size dining room table for in-suite dining. The nightlight feature is very nice when you need to make a late-night visit to the restroom. All of the switches are very high-tech, but they're not labeled, and it does take a while to learn which switch turns on or off which light. There are power ports over each nightstand, as well as USB and USB-C ports. Ricky's favorite feature of the stateroom was the Dyson hairdryer located in one of the vanity drawers. Now, I did not measure the large flat-screen television, but I'm guessing it's at least 50 inches wide and has an excellent variety of live television programming, as well as on-demand videos. The walk-in closet is very large and offers plenty of storage, and there's even a drying closet for your parkas. The bathroom features a large sink with dual faucets and plenty of storage space. Plush bathrobes and slippers are provided, and the bathroom features a separate water closet, albeit about the size of an airline bathroom. As for attention to detail, they even included a phone and USB charging ports in the water closet. That same attention to detail could have been helpful when designing the shower doors. The split door design requires the use of rubber bands to prevent the doors from swinging open in rough seas. In spite of that, the shower itself is very large, and the rain shower head and the wand worked great. We were a little surprised to see the Culinary amenities. They were okay, but we much prefer the traditional Silversea Bulgari amenities. Has Silversea changed the bathroom amenities across the entire fleet? If you know the answer, put it in the comment section down below. And now is a good time for me to remind you that if you're enjoying this video and you like cruise content, please take a second to click the subscribe button and that notification bell so that YouTube will inform you when we come out with new videos. Now, let's get back to the review. Every suite on Silversea enjoys butler service, and our butler and room steward were both excellent. If you just ask for something, it magically appears. Every guest also enjoys complimentary Wi-Fi, and while it was not what I would call fast Wi-Fi, it was acceptable and much better than I was expecting to get in Antarctica. Silver Endeavour does have the new Starlink satellite system installed. When it comes to dining, there are several options available to Silver Endeavour guests. The grill is located on Deck 5 aft and is one of the most beautiful spaces on the ship. The grill is open every day for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, with menu items that are the same each day. There is a small buffet with offerings that do change each day. If you're familiar with Silversea's classic ships, you can think of the grill as a combination of the pool grill and La Terrace's breakfast and lunch buffet area. In the evening, the grill offers a similar menu to Hot Rock's grill on the other ships, but without that hot rock cooking experience. All of the meats are cooked for you. We dined at the grill several times on this cruise with mixed results. Ricky had the fish and chips multiple times for lunch and really enjoyed them. I tried them once and asked for malt vinegar, but was served a different type of vinegar, almost like a white wine vinegar. At breakfast one day, Ricky's waffle was served cold, and the hollandaise sauce on my eggs Benedict looked more like melted butter. I suspect these issues are related to this having been a maiden voyage. You just don't see issues like this on Silversea. Our dinners in the grill were quite good, and the veal chop is the best piece of meat on the ship, in my opinion. The restaurant on Deck 4 aft is the ship's main dining venue and offers a very elegant dining experience, comparable to what you would experience on other Silversea ships. The restaurant is also open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner each day. The breakfast menu is the most extensive you'll find on any cruise ship, and there were no issues with the eggs Benedict I ordered here. They were perfect. Ricky enjoyed the banana pancakes. Waiters still present you with a tray of pastries at breakfast. This is a cruise ship tradition that is disappearing on many cruise lines. Lunch in the restaurant was very good. However, the lunch menus offer fewer choices compared to other Silversea ships. Ricky had the fish and chips here at lunch, and they were just as good as they were in the grill. Once again, I asked for malt vinegar so I could try one of her pieces of fish. Again, was served a different type of vinegar. I think this time it was a red wine vinegar. My chicken korma in the restaurant for lunch was excellent. Our 3 dinners at the restaurant were all very good, and the service at the restaurant seems to be a bit more polished. Every time we sat down for lunch or dinner, the wine steward remembered our favorite wine choice and poured a glass without us having to even ask for it. As with the lunch menus, dinner menus change each day, and there are fewer choices than what you'll find on the larger ships. But there was enough variety so that we never had a problem finding something appealing. And this is Silversea, so if you want something that's not on the menu, the odds are pretty good that all you have to do is ask your waiter. Just forward of the restaurant is Il Terrazzino, the ship's Italian-themed dining venue. The menu here is a little smaller to what you'll find at La Terrazza on other Silversea ships. The charcuterie platter is still served before each meal, along with a delicious bread basket, and the fresh-made pasta here is amazing. On the opposite side of the ship to Il Terrazzino on Deck 4 is La Dame, Silversea's upscale French dining room, and this is the only dining on Silver Endeavour that comes at an additional cost. Now, we have dined at La Dame on other Silversea ships, and every meal has been amazing. We thought it was a little odd to have this upscale, kind of dressy restaurant on an expedition ship where the atmosphere around the ship is otherwise very informal. This space was originally designed as a sushi restaurant when the ship was built by Crystal Cruises in 2021, and we sort of wish Silversea had kept an Asian theme here with maybe a kaiseki restaurant like their other ships. On Deck 5, you'll find Art's Cafe. Now, that's one of our favorite venues on any Silversea ship. This is a casual space where you can get a quick bite to eat at breakfast or lunch. For breakfast, they offer pastries, egg sandwiches, burritos, yogurt, and fruit. And for lunch, they offer sandwiches, snacks, flavored waters, and desserts. They also offer a warming dish each day, which is a welcome treat when you come inside from the cold Antarctic environment. One day they had Hungarian beef goulash, and on another day they had a chicken curry, and both were excellent. One of the most popular ways to dine on Silversea is having your butler deliver room service to your suite. And on Silversea, the coffee table in your suite gets transformed into a beautiful restaurant-style dining table, and any menu item from the restaurant is available through room service. Bar service throughout the ship was excellent. A special shout out to Moses in the Observation Lounge, who along with Anan in Explorer Lounge perfected Ricky's Lemon Drop Martini. I was pleasantly surprised to find the ship was fully stocked with Crown Royal, Canadian Club, and Seagram 7. Why are other cruise lines struggling to get Canadian whiskey? Expedition cruising in Antarctica is truly a once-in-a-lifetime experience. On a typical day, guests will have the opportunity to do an excursion in the morning, return to the ship for lunch, and then be offered a second excursion in the afternoon. Every excursion involves a short Zodiac cruise to deliver guests from Silver Endeavour to shore. Remember, there are no docks in Antarctica and no infrastructure, so most landings will be wet landings. You'll be stepping off the Zodiac into 6 to 12 inches of freezing cold water on a rocky beach. That is why before every excursion, guests are required to put on all of their cold weather gear in the mudroom, which includes waterproof boots. Silversea provides guests with all of the gear needed except for caps and gloves and undergarments. It can be very windy here, especially on the Zodiac rides, so I recommend a balaclava or a buff to keep your face warm. And don't forget sunglasses and sunscreen. I forgot to wear sunscreen one day and I got a pretty nasty sunburn. Silversea offers 3 different types of excursion activities. You can enjoy a Zodiac cruise where you can sail around the coastline to observe massive floating chunks of ice or penguin colonies on the shore. Occasionally, you might even see a Weddell seal resting on a chunk of ice. You can enjoy a hike at a location that the expedition team has prepared ahead of time. The expedition team will have prepared 1 or more hiking trails for you to follow, marked with red flags. Some of these trails are very easy to navigate, and some can be quite steep and challenging. On these hikes, you'll have the opportunity to visit penguin colonies and enjoy amazing views of the landscape. The hikes are all self-paced, so if you decide to stop at some point and go back, that's not a problem. There are plenty of expedition team members along the path to ensure everyone's safety. You're going to see a lot of penguins in Antarctica. On nearly every hike, don't be surprised if a group of them comes out to greet you. They are cute and curious and seem completely unfazed by our presence. The last activity you can enjoy is kayaking when the ship is in a location with calm waters. Oh, and we were visited more than once by some humpback whales. On an Antarctica cruise, you have to be flexible and realize that plans can and most likely will change. Rough seas, floating ice, and weather can be very unpredictable here and can force the expedition leader to cancel a planned stop. Our expedition leader, Marieke Egan, did an excellent job this cruise to keep guests informed of any changes in our itinerary. Every evening, guests would congregate in the Explorer Lounge for a daily briefing where Marieke and her team would update us on weather conditions and what our plans were for the following day. More than once, we would arrive at a location and the expedition team would determine that a landing would be unsafe due to rough seas or ice. Marika and the captain would work together to quickly locate an alternate landing spot for guests to enjoy. The entire team was extremely professional, and they went above and beyond to deliver an unforgettable experience. In addition to the excursions, there are also some onboard activities. Our entertainment hostess, Yessie, would conduct team trivia every afternoon in the observation lounge. She was a lot of fun. And Sergey would play the piano each evening in observation. Even our disembarkation was affected by the unpredictable weather. A couple of days before we were scheduled to disembark, we were informed that heavy fog and clouds might prevent the charter planes from landing on King George Island. This is basically a dirt runway with no airport and no control tower, so instrument landings are just not possible here. On that extra day on board, guests enjoyed all of the services of the ship, including additional excursions. We were finally able to disembark a day later than planned. Unlike most cruise lines where you just sit around and wait to disembark for several hours, Silversea offered a full breakfast and lunch service, and we even enjoyed a couple of lectures prior to disembarkation. If you want all the details about our disembarkation and the trip home, check our cruise blog. I'll put a link in the description of this video. So what did we love about the cruise, and was there anything we did not like? Well, first of all, we love the ship. This is the nicest expedition ship we've ever sailed on. We absolutely love the crew. Everyone was extremely pleasant and professional, and we loved our suite. The suite was comfortable, quiet, and spacious, and perhaps the most comfortable bed ever. We loved the destination. This was our second time in Antarctica, and it is unequaled for amazing landscape and wildlife. As for complaints, you have to really nitpick to find issues with Silversea, but in the spirit of journalistic integrity, I'll take a shot at it. There was no caviar on board. What? A Silversea cruise without caviar? Apparently, it was a provisioning problem. We have to remember that all of the ship's provisions come in on the same airplanes that bring guests to King George Island. There were a couple of small dining hiccups, like the lack of malt vinegar and the hollandaise on my eggs Benedict at the grill. I assume this is because it was a maiden voyage. We also felt like the announcements over the PA system were a little loud in our suite. There was no way to turn off or control the volume of the announcements. On Silver Endeavour, Arts Cafe closes at 6 p.m. We would also like to see a printed Silversea Chronicles in our suite each evening. But seriously, this will go down as one of the most memorable cruise experiences of our lives. We can, without reservation, give the highest recommendation possible to the Antarctica Bridge cruise aboard Silver Endeavour. Thank you for taking the time to watch this rather long video. If you enjoyed the video, please take a second to click that like button. We really appreciate it, and we'll see you on the next cruise report. And until then, smooth sailing.